Today we're talking about retouching. Now, if you've ever retouched, then you know that not only is it a tedious process, but it actually takes a while to really learn how to retouch well. So your models don't have that CGI, like retouched look. I can't stand that. I want someone to look natural. I want them to look cleaned up, but not fake. So I'm always looking for different programs to help speed that process up because honestly, I'm not a fan. I'm not the best at it, but I'm also not a fan of it. I would rather spend time taking photos than spending however much time retouching each individual image. And that's where Reblum comes into play. They are an AI retouching program and plugin company that reached out to me to test their product. Now, this is a sponsored video. However, one of the stipulations that I always make with companies who reach out to me and make videos is I'm gonna review it. I'm gonna test it myself. I'm going to say, okay, this is how it worked for me. This is not how it worked for me. And I'm not gonna say something that I don't find is true, regardless of how much you advertise that. So they were okay with that, which is great, because that gives me free reign to test it out fully and tell you how it truly works. One thing that I see, and you probably see as well when dealing with this kind of software, is they always show you these people, these models with major flaws, major acne, and when they apply their effect, there's this extremely dramatic change and you're like, holy crap, this is incredible. But that's not really real life. I mean, honestly, when was the last time you had a model or someone show up with a ton of acne all over the face, no makeup, all kinds of facial whatnot? It doesn't happen that often. Generally, you have someone who has minor blemishes, who has minor scars, things like that, more realistic. So instead of using those images, which you could just go online and see, I'm gonna show you images that I've taken, shoots that I've done, and we're gonna go through this program. The first photo we're gonna go over is a studio shoot that I did a while ago, and you can see that this image right here, you can clearly see that she is not retouched. Here's the before, here's the after. There's just a basic color edit. If you go into the masks, you see there's a select subject and a select background, and there are no removal tools to clean up the face. It just is what it is. So at this point, I would probably take it into Photoshop, do the retouching, and then do the final edits. Just as a note, there is something on my screen that I want you to see if you notice. It is probably the biggest thing that I like about Reblum. But I'll let you know at the end of the video what that is. See if you can guess. To use Reblum, it just works as a plugin. So right click on the image, you go down to edit in, and you go down to Reblum and then click edit. The one thing I like about Reblum is it's very simple. There's not too much to do. It's pretty self-explanatory. For example, you'll notice on the right side, you have only a few options that you can choose from. The natural option removes the main imperfections, but keeps the skin texture and keeps it looking really nice. The fashion removes all imperfections and gives it kind of a glossy, shiny look. And then down here you have general. The general slider controls the overall strength of the retouching, whereas the texture slider focuses on preserving or reducing the skin texture. Higher values will remove more texture out of the skin. Now the next thing is the preset. You have high quality, balanced, fast, and ultra fast. So high quality is all the skin, including body skin, is processed and cleaned up based on your settings. Balanced is the facial skin is fully processed with your selected style, while the body skin is always set to the natural style. Then you have fast, which is only the facial skin is processed and the body is skipped. Then you have ultra fast, which processes out the main skin concerns and leaves the natural texture of the skin. So those are the only options here, which makes it really simple to use. So here we go, this is finished. And now we're gonna zoom in and we're gonna look at the before and after. And you can see it did an amazing job. Her skin looks really good and still has that natural texture. The one thing that I noticed that it missed is this right here. I would have preferred that it got rid of this little spot. It did on the right, her left side here, but it left that one for some reason, but that's not really that big a deal. I can just remove it in Lightroom when I get back to it. But overall, it looks really, really good. So once you're done, you press OK. And this will bring you back into Lightroom where you can continue editing. And that's as simple as Reblum is. That's the basic feature of it. So let's go to another image and test it out. Don't forget to keep looking and see if you notice my favorite part of this app and how it works. If you haven't noticed yet, I'll tell you in the end of the video, but keep watching the screen, see if you find out. Comment if you figure it out. Here's another shoot that I did a while ago, and as you can see, again, just a color edit. So before and after, I did remove some stuff over here using the generative remove, but again, you'll see that it's over there and nothing on their face. For this one, I'm gonna mix it up. We're gonna go into Photoshop on this one. So we're gonna right click, edit in, and Photoshop. Now that we're in Photoshop, we can do the same kind of thing as we did in Lightroom. So let's go ahead and make a copy of this like I do with all my images. You go to Filter, you go to Reblum, and Reblum Retouch. This will do the exact same thing that we just did in Lightroom, which we don't need to do, because one cool thing that I figured out while messing around with this is you can create an action with this. So you create an action, and then you go through and you set all the settings that you want in Reblum. Once you've set those settings, the action will save those specific settings. So you can do this for natural look, full retouch, half retouch. You can make several different actions to fit the style of retouching that you want to do. So for example, here's my action. I'm just going to press play, and this will do all of the process, and I won't have to do anything. So rather than retouching, I'm going to go let this do its thing and go get some coffee really quick. Now, just as a note, if you're hearing lots of background noises, there's a whole bunch of construction going on behind me, and they're replacing the roof up top. So all kinds of noises right now, all kinds. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so now that the retouching is done, let's zoom in here. And here is the before, here is the after. So if you look on the side of his face here, before, after. If you look at her face here, before, after. You can see that it did a phenomenal job to retouch their skin and still keep a good, clean look of their skin. I'm very, very happy with that. And once you're done with retouching, you go back to editing and edit to your heart's delight. Now, a couple of other things that I personally liked about this program is, one, they don't use your images to train the AI. So all of your stuff remains yours. It's completely private, which I thought was really cool, because some, not mentioning any names, you know. The other thing that I thought was really cool was you can batch edit. So you can edit all of your images, and then you can select a bunch of images, drag and drop them into Reblum as a standalone program, and it will retouch them all. You press go and you go do something else while it works. The other thing that I like is it works on multiple people, including groups. I had some other retouching programs that I used that didn't work with multiple people, and this is great because this actually worked with multiple people. Now, I did try many images in Reblum, and most of the time it worked really well. However, I did have this image here that I did try, and here is the processed version. But if you look, let me zoom in on the face here and you can kind of see. This one is set at fashion and everything at full effect at high quality, which means all imperfections and everything should be cleaned up. So if you look here, we have a little bit of shadow and a little bit of eyebrow furrow here. We have some dimples and some spots here. We also have a little bit of acne right here and some lines on both sides. Now, I wouldn't be too mad if it didn't get the lines and stuff like that, but like this blemish here, the little imperfections here, and this shadows here, it should handle, because it should be a full retouch and it should be completely fashion. There are images that it didn't fully work on, but overall, again, I was really impressed with it. They have multiple price plans, including a lifetime membership, which means you pay once and you get the program and updates for life, which is very rare these days, and that is super cool. Also, they gave me a code that if you want to check it out and try it out, you can get 7 days for free trial, plus the code will give you 20% off. I'll link it in the description. But really quick, did you notice anything on the screen while we were doing this, while I was doing any of the retouching? Anything? If you said that the Wi-Fi was turned off, you would be right. The coolest part about this program that I like is you can do it offline. You do not need Wi-Fi. You can have it, but you do not need it, which is so freaking crucial in my opinion. I travel a lot and sometimes I don't have Wi-Fi and my editing is held up because of that. By having this ability, it is fantastic. So that is one of my favorite features personally. But other than that, that goes over a nice overview of this program. I hope you check it out because it actually is really, really good. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me, but hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Here's a couple of videos that you might want to check out. Other than that, happy editing, happy shooting, and I'll see you in the next video.